Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. And today we're going exploring kind of a fascinating area of the world of beauty pageants and the world of
Oh,
science,
wow.
all through the lens of one remarkable woman, Bianca Yelanin.
Okay.
She's competing for Miss Universe Philippines 2025, and her background is anything but typical.
Yeah, it's really intriguing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't usually see a medical scientist stepping onto the pageant stage.
Right.
Yolanin just graduated from the University of Tasmania, Australia, and this is her first ever pageant.
I know, talk about jumping in the deep end, right?
Yeah.
Especially considering she's up against some really, seasoned competitors, including past winners and runner-ups.
Right.
It makes you wonder, what motivated her to take on this challenge.
Well, the article highlights a really interesting point. It seems like Yolanin sees this competition as an opportunity for personal growth.
Hmm.
She even mentions that her biggest competition is herself.
Wow.
That kind of mindset really sets her apart, wouldn't you say?
It definitely speaks to a certain level of self-awareness and drive.
Yeah.
But it's more than just personal growth, right?
Right.
She also wants to use this platform for something bigger, advocating for Filipino children's health and nutrition.
Exactly. And that's where her background really comes into play.
Yeah.
She comes from a family of medical professionals.
Okay.
So this cause is deeply personal to her.
Yeah.
It's not just some talking point, it's really a lifelong passion.
Yeah. That makes her advocacy so much more powerful and authentic.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that could give her an edge in the competition?
Um,
It feels like there's a shift happening in the pageant world, with contestants being more vocal about social issues.
it's certainly an interesting trend. For a
Yeah.
long time, beauty pageants were primarily focused on, physical appearance and poise.
Yeah.
But now it's becoming more about using your platform to make a difference.
Right. And I'm curious how Yolanan plans to bridge these two worlds. Science and pageantry, will she incorporate her scientific knowledge into her advocacy work?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
It would be fascinating to see her draw on her scientific background to present, you know, compelling arguments for her cause.
Mm.
Imagine her explaining complex health issues in a way that resonates with a wider audience.
Now that you mention it, I remember reading that Yolanan admires some of the Philippines' most iconic beauty queens.
Oh, yeah.
Pia Wurtzbach, who won Miss Universe in 2015, and Venus Raj, who was fourth runner-up in 2010.
Wow.
For our listener, these women are huge figures in Philippine culture.
Yep.
Wurtzbach's win was a massive deal. It ended a 42-year drought for the Philippines at Miss Universe.
Oh, wow.
So,
Yeah, it's clear she's drawing inspiration from some of the best.
yeah.
And it seems she's learning from their approach to advocacy as well.
Yeah.
Remember her answer to why she deserves to be the next Miss Universe Philippines.
Yeah.
It was all about representing the Filipino people and showcasing their pakikipagkapwa-tao.
Yes, I loved that answer. But to be honest, I'm not entirely sure. I understand what Pakipipakwatao means. Could you break that down a bit?
Of course, it's a core concept in Filipino culture, and it's really beautiful.
Okay.
Pakikipagkapwa-tao emphasizes shared identity and interconnectedness.
Okay.
It's about recognizing the humanity in everyone and treating them with compassion and respect.
That makes so much sense. And it ties in perfectly with her advocacy for children's health.
Right.
It's like she's saying we're all connected and we have a responsibility to take care of each other.
Exactly. It adds like a deeper layer of meaning to her message.
Yeah.
It's not just about promoting healthy habits.
Right.
It's about fostering a sense of community and shared responsibility.
Speaking of connections, there's another interesting aspect to Yolanan's story, her relationship.
Oh.
She actually moved to the Philippines from Australia with her boyfriend, Jim Wyndham.
Wow.
It's quite a testament to their commitment,
Yeah.
They both moved to a new country to pursue their passions and build a life together. It's a reminder that personal relationships can play a crucial role in supporting our ambitions.
Absolutely.
And it gets even more interesting. They actually met at a museum and gallery where they both worked.
Oh, wow.
They've been together for almost 3 years now.
That's so charming.
No.
It humanizes her and reminds us that there's a whole person behind the pageant persona.
Right. But of course, everyone wants to know love or the crown.
Yeah.
How would she choose between her relationship and her ambition?
It's the classic pageant question, isn't it?
Yeah.
It forces contestants to confront their priorities and reveal something about their values.
So what did Yolanan say?
Well, she chose the crown,
Really?
but she did it with a sense of confidence, knowing that her partner fully supports her goals. It was a smart and mature response, don't you think?
Absolutely. It shows that she's focused on her ambitions, but also that she has a strong and supportive relationship.
It seems like she's really defying expectations at every turn.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that a medical scientist would be vying for the Miss Universe Philippines crown?
It's a really refreshing change,
Yeah.
and it makes her journey even more captivating. I'm eager to hear your thoughts on how this might impact the pageant world as a whole.
Let's delve into that in the next part.
It's fascinating to consider how Yelanan's unique background might shake things up in the pageant world. Could this be a turning point for these competitions?
It's certainly a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
Yolanan represents a new generation of contestants who are breaking the mold.
Hmm.
She's not just beautiful, she's intelligent, she's driven, and she's passionate about making a difference.
It makes you wonder, will the judges and the audience embrace this shift? Will they be receptive to a beauty queen who's also a scientist and a strong advocate for social causes?
That's the big question, isn't it? There's always a risk that some people might hold on to that traditional image of what a beauty queen should be.
Right.
They might see Alanan's scientific background as a distraction or even a detriment.
But on the other hand, her background could be her biggest asset. Think about how she could leverage her scientific knowledge to elevate her advocacy work. She could bring a whole new level of credibility and depth to the issues she's passionate about.
Absolutely. Imagine her using her platform to educate people about children's health,
Mm-hmm.
explaining complex concepts in a clear and engaging way.
Mm.
She could really inspire change by connecting with people on both an intellectual and an emotional level.
It's like she's bridging the gap between two worlds that often seem so separate, science and pageantry.
Yeah,
And in doing so, she's challenging our preconceived notions of what a beauty queen can be.
it's almost like she's conducting a social experiment in real time.
Yeah.
Can someone defy these stereotypes and still succeed in a traditionally image-focused competition?
And her success could pave the way for others to follow in her footsteps. Imagine a future where beauty pageants become platforms for showcasing diverse talents, intellect, and advocacy.
Wouldn't that be incredible? We could see doctors, lawyers, engineers, artists, all vying for the crown,
Wow.
each bringing their own unique perspective and passion to the stage.
It would be a far cry from the pageants of the past where the focus was so much on physical beauty.
Yes, but even then, those pageants reflected the values and ideals of their time. As society evolves, so too do the institutions that shape and reflect our culture.
Yolanda's participation in Miss Universe Philippines could be a sign that those institutions are finally catching up to the changing times. It's like we're witnessing a cultural shift in real time.
And it all comes back to that concept of pakikipagkapotao,
Right.
the idea of shared identity and interconnectedness. Yolanan embodies this principle in such a profound way.
She's not just representing herself, she's representing a generation that's challenging norms and pushing boundaries.
And she's doing it with great intelligence and a genuine desire to make a positive impact. It's truly inspiring to witness.
This conversation has really opened my eyes to the potential of beauty pageants to be forces for good.
Yeah, it's easy to dismiss them as superficial or outdated, but Yolanan's story reminds us that there's always more than meets the eye.
It really makes you wonder what the future holds for pageantry. If someone like Bianca wins, could it open the doors for even more women from diverse backgrounds to participate?
It's a really intriguing thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
Imagine a future where a scientist winning a beauty pageant isn't seen as an anomaly, but as the norm.
Right.
It would send such a powerful message about what we value as a society.
It would be like saying we're no longer just looking for beauty on the surface.
Right.
We're looking for substance intelligence and a passion for making a difference.
And it would challenge that notion that women have to fit into one box or another.
Right.
They can be beautiful and brilliant, ambitious and compassionate all at the same time.
It's like Yolanda is redefining what it means to be a modern-day role model.
Yeah.
She's showing young girls that they don't have to choose between their passions and their desire to make a difference in the world.
It's a powerful message, and it's one that I think resonates so deeply with our current cultural moment.
Yeah.
We're seeing this growing demand for authenticity and representation.
Right.
And Jalanan embodies both of those qualities.
I know I'll be following her journey in the competition closely. I'm so curious to see how she navigates the challenges and uses her platform to amplify her message.
I think we can all learn something from her story, regardless of whether she wins the crown or not.
Right.
She's already challenging our assumptions and pushing us to rethink what's possible.
This deep dive has been such a fascinating exploration of beauty pageants, personal journeys, and the evolving landscape of what it means to be a woman in the 21st century. It's amazing how one person's story can spark such a thought-provoking conversation.
It's a reminder that sometimes the most unexpected stories are the ones that have the greatest power to inspire and challenge us.
So as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this thought. What does Bianca Yellen's story tell you about the changing nature of beauty and success? And what kind of impact do you hope to see from the next generation of women who dare to defy expectations and pursue their dreams? Thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
We'll be back soon with another fascinating topic to explore. Until then, keep those brains buzzing.